Hey guys, so is Bitcoin going to crash, or is Bitcoin Cash going to crash, or are we about to get a bunch of free money?
Holy Grail.
What's up, guys? Stefan here with my crypto secrets, and so it's about to happen. It is July 31st, 2017. It's 2 o'clock, 2:06 in the afternoon Pacific time. So we're getting close to August 1st when the hard fork of Bitcoin is supposed to happen. And we're supposed to be getting a new coin, Bitcoin Cash. So, I mean, there's so many videos out there, so many people are talking and predicting. I maybe not predicting because nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen. But what we can do is kind of look back and see what's happened so far and make some sense of it. And basically, it all comes down to human emotions, right? Because what we can pretty much agree on is that this cryptocurrency, all of this is so new, it doesn't react and it doesn't behave the same way that Forex does, the same way that stocks do. It's different. That's just the way that it is. So let's go back on this chart here. We're just using TradingView. And when we had the announcement of Bitcoin Cash announced that they were going to hard fork and create their own coin rather than participating in the agreement for SegWit, what we had was sort of a sideways channel and a dip. And everybody, all the videos that I saw, all the charters and stuff, they all said, oh, the dip is going to continue because everybody's worried, right? Everybody's worried about Bitcoin and what's going to happen. And then it reversed. So it did not continue. This drop did not continue. It started to come back. And it continued to come back. And then we had it here in a somewhat of a sideways channel shortly. And now it actually so actually here's where it dropped, and then it came up and we had a sideways, and it dipped again, and people were just saying, using their charting software or whatever they're doing, that it was going to continue to go down. Now look, it's trending and we're at 28.92. Okay, so let's just look back and see about what happened. So because human beings, you could agree or disagree, but a lot of people are greedy, right? We're into this for gains for ourselves, just part of being a human being. And the opportunity came up to where if Bitcoin splits and becomes two coins, which is what's apparently happening tomorrow, August 1st, anyone holding Bitcoin is going to have their Bitcoin, and they're also going to get the same amount in Bitcoin Cash, depending on where you're holding your Bitcoin. Obviously, if you're holding it in an offline wallet where you hold the private keys, that would be the case. I believe Bittrex, Bitfinex, Kraken are three that will support the split and immediately give you BCC, Bitcoin Cash, in the equivalent amount to what you've got in Bitcoin. I believe Bitfinex is doing things a little bit differently, just so that they don't lose out on people that are trying to short or take advantage. But everybody's trying to take advantage of this, and that's why we're seeing this price go up, in my opinion. This is people buying Bitcoin because come tomorrow, they want to have as much Bitcoin as they can so that when the split happens, they can, have free money, right? So that's what this is people wanting free money. Greed. And nothing wrong with greed, right? That's what Gordon Gekko said. Greed is good. But that's what's happening. That's what we're seeing, is people buying Bitcoin so that tomorrow they can have free money, basically. So the question is, when it splits, what's going to happen then, right? Will the price of Bitcoin stick, hold, and now people have their two coins, and Will they hold on to their BCC, their Bitcoin Cash, and as a result, the price of Bitcoin is going to dip because people are feeling good about this new Bitcoin Cash, doing things faster, better, cheaper? Or will people immediately sell their Bitcoin Cash to buy more Bitcoin or other cryptos right out of the gate? I saw a few surveys that were done online and some videos and some polls that were taken, and what I saw was the majority of people that were asked, are they going to hold their Bitcoin Cash, their BCC, or dump it? The majority of people said they were going to dump it. I know that was my initial intention, was to buy Bitcoin and or take my Bitcoin and get ready for the split, and then have my BCC, my Bitcoin Cash, and then dump it and sell it and make that free money and buy other cryptos or do whatever I wanted to do with it. And that's what my play was going to be. Right now, I'm sort of like staying back because I don't know. Let's take a look at the price of BCC. Earlier today, it was down under 300. It was like at 250. Let me refresh the page here and see where it is right now. So it dropped back again down to 294. So that to me means that it seems like people aren't quite sure yet about what's going to happen. But let me tell you guys kind of how I look at this, okay? And, I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not, an expert on this in any way. Like I said before, eat, sleep, breathe, dream, all about crypto and stuff, and I enjoy it. And my background is in the financial industry at a mortgage company, so I understand finance and the way the markets work, and also the way that emotion works as I'm a marketer as well. And I understand how to market to people and what drives people to make decisions. Okay, so Bitcoin has been around now since 2010, and it's taken this long, until 2017, for it to become the whale that it is. And it is a whale, right? So when a whale's in the ocean, a whale moves slow, and because it's so massive and things are drawn to it, it almost has like a gravity of its own, right? You can also think of it as like a carrier, a naval carrier ship that has planes on it and stuff. It's big and it's moving slow through the ocean. So when it wants to make a turn, it takes time to turn, right? It takes time for these things to happen. And so, here comes Bitcoin Cash that's like, not even a cruiser, but a much smaller sized ship, or, maybe even a shark or something like that in the ocean. It's smaller, it can move faster, and here it comes. But it's taken a long time for Bitcoin to become the not even a household name that it is today. Maybe in our community, people obviously know, but still there's a lot of people out there that are clueless about Bitcoin. Maybe they kind of have heard of it, but they don't know what it is. And I ask people, some people are like, huh? Especially, if you start talking about cryptocurrencies. So it's taken this long for Bitcoin to become what it is today, right? Branding, marketing, word of mouth, years and years and years of usage, right? People have had great experiences with Bitcoin. They've been able to transfer money from one person to another in another country, and thank God you was able to send me a Bitcoin. It saved us, People in Venezuela, other countries in Central and South America are using it in ways that are helping their country and people survive and eat and live. People have had downtimes with Bitcoin where we had the blockchain was jammed up. In my opinion, it was spam, basically blocking it up on purpose to discredit Bitcoin. That's just my opinion. I'm a conspiracy theorist. And so we had that time where it took 17 hours for a transaction to go through, and you're pissed off, Bitcoin, what the hell is going on here, But then it loosened up again, and since then I've had transactions that have gone through in 5 minutes on Bitcoin. So back to loving Bitcoin again, right? Bitcoin's my friend again. So those are experiences that we've all had with Bitcoin, right? And that's the relationship and the connection that we've had with Bitcoin. And that's why Bitcoin is what it is. It's because it's got years of building a relationship with a lot of people, even institutions and governments and all of this. It's taken a long time for that to happen. You ever have somebody that wants to, that a new friend comes into your life or something, or a new person comes into your life and they want to be friends instantly? They're like, hey, I'm your friend. And they're going to come over and, and it's sort of like, you're like this a little bit like, whoa, I don't know you that well. It takes time to build a relationship and a friendship. You know what I mean? Slow down. Like, let's let these things unfold and kind of happen. And in some ways, I feel like that's what Bitcoin Cash is doing. It's like, hey, I'm your buddy, I'm your pal, I'm your buddy, I'm your pal. Here we go, I'm fast, I'm cool, da-da-da-da-da-da. And, but it takes time for these things to unfold and for them to come together. And people aren't just inherently going to have that trust and that bond with Bitcoin Cash as the way that they've had with Bitcoin. No matter what Bitcoin Cash says about Bitcoin's too slow and it took them too long to make a decision, and we don't want to wait. I get all that stuff, but nevertheless, Bitcoin is the whale. It's moving through the ocean at a slow pace, but everything's around it, like the animals that suck on the whale and attach themselves to the whale, and other fish swim together with the whale because the whale's the big boss, and that's what Bitcoin is. So that's what we're seeing, in my opinion, is people, buying into the boss. And from what I've seen is most people are going to get this Bitcoin Cash and sell it. Now, the contrarian view, right, is that you always do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. So I don't know if that's the play. And also, if Bitcoin, when this split happens, is Bitcoin itself going to drop because of fear that Bitcoin Cash is so much better? I mean, it could happen. I have a hard time believing that, again, because Bitcoin is the whale, and Bitcoin Cash is sort of the newcomer, and people just right now are just greedy, just buying up Bitcoin so they can get all the Bitcoin Cash that they can. It's free money. People want free stuff, free money, especially free money. You kidding me? So people want their free money, but the question is what they're going to do with it when they get it. Are they going to be afraid that Bitcoin Cash is going to crash, or they're going to cash out of it? If it dips, you're going to have, if it dips quickly, you're going to have a lot of people just selling it because they don't want to lose. They may think it might go to zero because it's really just a blip. Some part of me thinks that it is just a blip, like a mosquito on the elephant's back. Bitcoin Cash is the mosquito. Bitcoin is the elephant. The other thing that I was thinking about earlier too was the momentum that Bitcoin has, right? Again, since 2010, Bitcoin has been like a snowball going down the mountain, except the mountain's been going uphill, right? So it's been gaining momentum, becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And so here comes Bitcoin Cash, and is it just, as that ball is growing, is Bitcoin Cash going to get swallowed up? And good, too bad you guys tried. I don't know. It's obviously going to be a new crypto. People talk about it sending more quickly, but so do other cryptos. Ethereum, Litecoin, they're all super fast, and others, NEM, SIA, so many other coins. So yeah, you have to convert them into the other coin first. You'd have to convert, but is it really that hard to do? With Changely, you can just, if you have a wallet, you can just quickly send your Bitcoin into another crypto, send that to somebody. If you're really that concerned about it taking whatever it takes now, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, and you want it to get there instantly, then you can just do that and get it there more quickly. So is Bitcoin Cash really coming along and saving the day from people, like, because obviously the Ethereum blockchain, a lot of other technologies and apps and business applications are being based on its blockchain because it's faster, more secure, apparently. More secure, but just it's sort of set up for other things to work with it more so than Bitcoin is. But Bitcoin is the big dog. It's been around since the beginning. It is more the household name. More people know about it. More people trust it. And even if Bitcoin Cash did survive initially after, probably will drop, but who knows? It would take time for it to catch on, because then again, it's also, you're saying Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin first, and you need Bitcoin Cash. And for people that are new into this space, they're going to say, wait, Bitcoin? What's Bitcoin Cash? Isn't it Bitcoin? Well, then you have to explain what Bitcoin Cash is. Oh, wait. So wait, I have a Bitcoin wallet. You're saying I need a Bitcoin Cash wallet too? So then, wait, I have some Bitcoin. So should I send you Bitcoin, or should I send you Bitcoin Cash? But I don't have Bitcoin Cash, so how do I get Bitcoin Cash? Well, you have to sell your Bitcoin to get Bitcoin Cash. But why, if I already have Bitcoin and I want to sell the Bitcoin, what's the price of Bitcoin Cash? But I already have Bitcoin. You see? So it's just it's just creating more confusion because it's Bitcoin. If you talk about a different crypto, you say, well, there's other cryptos like Ethereum. Oh, okay, so that's something different than Bitcoin? Yeah. Well, how does it work? Now it's a simpler conversation because it's a completely separate crypto. But with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, now you've got two, right, that are the same. Different story with Ethereum. I said before, because again, Ethereum was new, relatively new. Or Ethereum Classic was relatively new when it had its hard fork. Different thing, because Bitcoin has been the beast, the thing for so long. It's different. It became a whale. It became a Navy carrier. Huge, just all the momentum in this. It turns slow, like I said before. That's why it has taken so long for them to do all this stuff. It's just a big, huge thing. And why do you think it takes them so long for government, new laws to get made, or for Congress to agree, or the Senate to agree? It's because there are these big, huge things that just, people can't agree on. And so here comes Bitcoin Cash. Fewer people, quick. We'll see. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. So, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. All I know is that people are buying the shit out of Bitcoin right now. And they're obviously doing it because they want free money. That's obvious. It's just obvious that that's what's happening. So the question is, when they get their free money, what are they going to do? Are they going to cash out and get it rather than risk losing it? Or are they going to hold on to it and hope that Bitcoin Cash moves up and and stays relevant? So let's refresh here on CoinMarketCap and see what it's done. Stayed around the same. So it's hovering right around there. You can see here that on July 23rd, it was at 557. Okay, 557. And it's steadily going down. So already from where it was, you're 40% dip since they decided they're going to do this. It's already dipped. So is this trend going to continue, or when it forks and when it splits, is something magically going to happen where this reverses? Or people magically going to love Bitcoin Cash because nobody knows about it? The majority of people don't know about it. Remember that we're really still a very small community of people that are really into the crypto space, that know about it. Most people are outside of that circle. Most people are outside of the circle of even knowing that there's a fork going on right now. The people that know about Bitcoin, maybe heard a little bit about what's happening. They don't know what's going on, because people that, like myself, even I don't know exactly what's going to happen, right? So most people are completely oblivious to all this, and they don't give a shit about Bitcoin Cash. They don't. Maybe they got Bitcoin, they heard about Bitcoin. Well, Bill Gates has talked about it, about Bitcoin. Richard Branson has talked about cryptocurrencies. Now Mark Cuban's getting into an ICO apparently. So there might be talk about him getting into cryptocurrencies. So it's becoming more mainstream. But it's all that mainstreamness is all going to be pointing right back to Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Cash, right? So this seems to be what's happening. It's still going up here. It's still going up. Now, obviously, this spike here, you would think needs some relief at some point. We all know what happened with the last spike. This is a pretty significant jump here. So you obviously think if it goes up, it's got to find some relief. But we'll see. People keep buying, as the clock keeps on ticking, moving closer, and people are like, I want free money, and people are telling each other, hey, did you know you can get free money? Did you know you can get free money? How? Do you have Bitcoin? No, buy some Bitcoin. You know, so it may be kind of late for people to do that now, but if you go to Bitcoin ATM, you can get Bitcoin right now. You can go, I can go down to the ATM and spend a few $1,000s and get a Bitcoin or two maybe at some of these ATMs, and people might be doing that right now. It seems like people are buying Bitcoin. So we'll see what happens. Good luck, everybody. That's my thoughts. If you have any thoughts on this and what I said, I'd be curious to see what your thoughts are. But we'll all find out very soon to see what happens. So, yeah, pray for the best. But I think in the end, it's all going to be good. And I still think Bitcoin is going to be shooting up over time, well past previous highs, probably this month or next month, August. So, but we'll see. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to get some feedback and see where other people out there are at and thinking about this stuff too. So that's it for now, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Holy Grail.